Hello friends, and welcome to our channel. I'm Chris, this is my wife Tanis. Together we are Tanis Fiber Arts. And we're here to spend a little time with you guys, talk about life, knitting, color, and if that sounds fun to you, let's get into it.
We're also here to talk about what sweater I am wearing, and to tell you for the 20th time that Chris is wearing
a siege hat.
The same hat!
The same one from last week.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we do them too frequently. This is 3 weeks in a row now. I'm running out of hat options.
I don't think the frequency would matter.
Probably
I
not.
think you would always be wearing that hat. I'm wearing my Love Note sweater, designed by Tin Can Knits. I'm sure you know that. Knit in, it's knit with a strand of fingering and a strand of mohair. I used Atlas fingering, which is a blue, and speckled iris mohair, which is like a purpley shade, a multicolored purple, and together they meld to create my favorite color of all time.
Looking beautiful. You look like the ocean.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm also wearing...
Wow.
Ow! Super fantastic.
Great flexibility, great boots.
I'm very excited about them. And I'm wearing them to sit on a chair in my living room because I like them so much.
Tanis is like approaching my height in those boots.
I am still 6, 7, 8, 9 inches off of Chris's height.
It's still alarming to see, even the...
It was alarming. I was wearing them just like walking around, and like opening drawers is so much lower. I'm 5'6" with these boots on.
Yeah.
Which is not an alarmingly tall height.
I'm 6'2" in socks, so no competition there.
Anyways, it's quite funny. But it's very strange to be up here. But I'll get used to it.
Welcome.
Do you know what I wanted to say about this? How much I love. I did a whole blog post about it that I could link in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
But how magical it is to combine mohair and fingering to create a new color. Like, it's very cool.
Yeah.
And
I feel like your last year of knitting has kind of been characterized by that. Mohair's held with everything.
Mohair is so, I hate to say trendy, but it's trending. It's very popular now. Like, it was nowhere to be seen. It's 5-6 years ago. I don't know. I can't remember what year it came in. I don't feel like it was that. Anyways. And then it is everywhere, and like, I just can't get enough. I love it. I find it very forgiving. Like, it makes colorways that are kind of wild. It tones them down a bit. It makes...
It's almost like
It also makes things like... it's fuzzy, but not pilly.
No.
And so, like, used with a merino that would maybe generally pill more. Like, it doesn't pill. It doesn't... I think it's magic.
Yeah, it comes up a lot. I know Micah's favorite hat has mohair in it.
So it's really soft. Our 6-year-old wears a mohair hat. No, it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. However, I have a whole bunch of projects to talk about today because last time we did an episode, we did only questions.
Yeah.
And so I didn't talk about any of my projects, and I have so much to catch everybody up on, but none of them have mohair.
That's okay.
Oh, that's not true. I forgot to bring one over. Okay, let's get started. So the first project that I wanted to talk about is this hat. I just released this hat pattern this week, and it's on sale all week. So no code, it's just on sale, 15% off. It's called the Cool Bean hat. I cannot put this on my head because my hair is curly.
No, you don't want to ruin those curls. I'll do it. I'm keen.
Chris dares to put on a different hat.
Oh God, I feel dizzy. Gotta roll it. Gotta do something to it.
Come on. That's not helpful. Well, okay, fine. That's cute. So that's the Cool Bean hat. It's cute. It's got a lot of cable.
All right. There.
This is so confused. Looks awesome. It's knit in our garnet colorway, which is a regular colorway in our core collection. It's always available, and people, I feel like it doesn't get a ton of attention because it's a kind of a semi-solid. You know what I mean?
And it's been
the
around
most
forever.
Flashy. Yeah, it was one of our first, but it's really eye-catching.
Yeah,
it's a great color. And there you go. So enjoy that. I have a smaller version that I knit in our yak silk DK. And so this one is too small. You can put it on, but I think it would be too small for you because it's in DK. It's a worsted weight pattern.
It feels beautiful.
It feels so good.
Ooh.
I mean, it fits.
Good stretch
it's very stretchy. It's just a bit snugger. Okay,
snug.
so I guess it does fit. You like this one more?
I like the tighter fit. It's closer.
funny.
It's closer to a siege hat The other one, like with a loose hat on, I feel like if I stood up, I would fall over. I wouldn't be able to walk. It's like having my wallet in my left pocket. It's just disorienting.
Well then, okay, fine. I was going to say this one, if you knit it in DK, it would fit a child, but or Chris.
Oh, we must be 5 minutes into our podcast because Stella's here to annoy us.
Oh, Chris.
Love
Somebody
you, Stella.
put a blanket on her.
Yeah.
She's fine.
She'll live.
So there's that. That was my first thing I wanted to talk about.
Great hat.
Thanks. Do I know the next thing? Do you want to model this?
This is exciting for everyone.
I love this. I'm very excited about this. This is something that I've been thinking about, I think.
I even posted about this.
Because, yeah, you're into it.
Imagine this as the top of a turtleneck. This is a swatched cowl Tan did for a pattern she's working on.
Yeah, so I'm working on a sweater pattern with these motifs. And so I knit a cowl to swatch in the round because the sweater will be knit in the round. And I wanted to get a real sense of the scale of the motifs and how they'd work. And I'm super happy with the cowl, actually, like just as a thing. So I actually think I'm going to release the cowl pattern individually first. And you could buy it and knit your cowl swatch and enjoy your cowl. And then when the pattern is released, if you have the cowl pattern, when I release the sweater pattern, you will get like a discount on the sweater.
Right.
Because I'm also going to include the cowl pattern within the sweater because it's the perfect swatch. But I think that's cool. And then some people who only want to knit the cowl, who are like, it's too much to knit a sweater like this, can just knit the cowl. So I'm very excited about kind of doing, like, sometimes I get ideas for really elaborate sweaters, but for me, I would say that those like elaborately color worked sweaters are harder sales. They're way more work, and then the patterns don't sell as well because they're really ambitious. You've got to be like kind of really into finicky stuff in order to do it.
And the more specific you get, the narrower your audience is, right?
Yeah. And so it can be less rewarding to design something like that. But I think that most people will tackle a color work cowl. And so doing the combo makes it seem worth it. I don't know. I'm
going to take it off. It's a bit much for the living room.
Okay. But give it, please. Thank you. Sorry. You may recognize this motif from I would say it's a super popular children's book, a series.
I think so.
Yeah. Iggy Architect. And we've had that book for years, like whenever it came out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And
we have all of them.
Yeah.
Ada Twist Scientist. Who are the others? Is an
Rosie,
illustrator?
Aaron Slater, illustrator. Rosie Revere, engineer. We don't have, there's one there's one about a girl who wants to be president, but we don't have a president. We're Canadian, so it doesn't quite hit the same way, so I haven't bought that one. At any rate, ever since, like, literally I buy the book, open the book, read it to the kids, love the book, and I'm like, I like Iggy's style. That is a cute sweater.
He's a well put together kid.
Yeah.
His teacher's a real dresser too.
Yeah, I mean, they've all got it, really. I love all of their stuff.
Yeah.
But, so I've been thinking about the Iggy Peg sweater for years, and I even brought yarn on vacation once, like 2 years ago, being like, I'm going to swatch and knit this sweater this summer. And then I didn't that particular summer, but it's just been like, I can't stop thinking about it. And so this is it. We're one cowl closer.
Yeah.
The sweater pattern is.
There's a lot to mull over for
It's
the
not
pattern, right? Yeah.
But it's, you know what? This is one giant step for me. So I'm quite excited about that. So stay tuned if you're into Iggy Architect, or if you're just into graphic, cool sweaters. I
would be into the sweater without knowing the reference because it's got a real Scandinavian look to it.
I mean, I just love it. So I will be knitting the sweater sample in black and white because that's how Iggy's sweater is. But also, now that I've knit this, I'm really into it.
Yeah.
But I'm also really excited to hopefully see somebody knit the motifs like all different colors.
Oh, that would be cool.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's going to be fun.
Might be me. I love color work.
Are you going to get yourself a rainbow Iggy pack?
I might.
I love it.
I would not say I wouldn't.
Do it. Do you want to know what else I've worked on? There's so much.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't talk about what I'm working on.
No, run through it. We
I
didn't
go
do any
like
of this
through.
last time,
I know.
so.
I'm hot and cold. Like
I will have a question or two for you after.
Okay. Like I go through phases where it feels like, you're uninspired, you're not really doing much. I'm working on simple socks or something just to stay busy, but I'm not like passionate about whatever. And then suddenly something, a switch flicks, and flip, maybe. And now I just have so many things I want to be working on. So I knit this in a matter of days. This is premature to be showing it because it's probably going to be some time before I release this pattern. But I just can't help it because I'm excited about it. Look at this cute little t-shirt. I hope that is
pretty sweet.
So, I haven't trimmed the ends. It has been blocked. Okay, look. It has pockets with I-cord. It has, this is not it. I should have planned this better. But the I-cord around the neck. So this is a t-shirt for my daughter who's turning 4. You tie it in a bow. There's an opening to keep the neck really big so they can get over her head really easily. And then you tie a little bow in the back. And it is, like with a little ponytail, it is the cutest thing.
Huge risk not doing it in purple or pink, but
so
she seemed to love it. I think.
She really surprised me. So I really like this color combo. It's like a speckled gray with some neons in it, and then this like acid yellow. And as I was knitting it, I'm like, oh, I love this color combo. She is going to hate it because it's not purple or pink or red. Like, she's quite flexible in the colors that she likes, but she does not like gray and yellow. No. Particularly. They're not, I think she likes the yellow. She likes bright colors. It's the gray that is kind of like, what was I thinking? And she also doesn't really love sweaters at the moment because she runs hot. She just doesn't get, like the boys have really embraced sweaters. She will put a sweater on, act excited about it, and then I turn around and she's taken it off because she's too hot. So, but that's not the point. That's not why I did it. So I knit it because I just loved the idea, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I hope that she wears it a little bit. I hope she puts treasures in the pockets. And
that's why Tan had asked me when she was making it. She said, "Do you think it's necessary to put pockets? They're just for the look." I said, "They're not for the look." Willow's constantly running around with a hair clip or anything shiny.
She likes to put
real magpie tendencies. She loves little jewels.
And you know what? She often puts them in my pockets.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Well, that's not going to stop. But
at the end of the day, I empty my pockets and I'm like, buttons? A hair clip? Like, what is this? And I didn't even notice that she snuck up and put it in. Like, she does it secretly. Which brings me something I've been wanting to say. Do you remember? So I was in my office, speaking of our daughter, who is 3, almost 4. I'm in my office, and I had boxes of our gift bundles, that we make every year. They were in a pile, and I'm getting ready to ship them out. Their boxes made up, but they weren't taped up or anything. And then I look at her, like, she's over by the boxes. What are you doing, honey? And she's got, like, I think she had a pipe cleaner, a little bead, and she's putting them in the boxes.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I go, Willow, what are you doing? You can't put, are you putting those in boxes? What do what's going on? And she was like, oh, this is where I put my stuff. And I was like, wait, this is like regularly? Like, have you done this before? And she said, yes.
Well, I think because she was part of the assembly process. Yeah. So it's like, here, one of these. She got in the spirit. So some lucky people for sure got a pipe cleaner.
So nobody has written to me. If you ordered a gift bundle and you got some treasures, tell me. I want to know.
Yeah, that was Willow's contribution to it.
She said she did it, but I don't know if she really had done it before. I'm not sure what, but I'm so curious now. And I wonder if somebody got it, and I don't know what they would have assumed. I don't know what they would have thought.
Probably something fell in there, but it's an added bonus. Yeah. It was placed there with love.
I thought that, that's what you get. I thought that was pretty cute. Yeah. Pretty funny. I hope that she didn't put any of my, she likes to go into my jewelry. Yeah,
any house keys or anything too, like credit card or something.
Anyways, so that I'm really pumped about.
Yeah.
Leave that handy because I have something else to say about that.
All right.
Oh, and then the next thing I wanted to show is like a whole pile of socks.
Yeah, let's not do them individually.
No. So, because it's going to be a collection. It's a little pattern sock. This is helpful.
Well, I say don't do it individually, but then we always have them. They're like spread out on a surface in the house, and it's kind of it's an appealing look.
So I'm gonna walk you through
hold them two at a time,
but not those ones first.
Oh, you have a plan.
Yeah, there's a plan. Years ago, I'm going to bring you on a journey. This is like a cooking recipe where it's like, when
Sock
I was a
journey.
child,
You guys are in for a treat.
years ago, I knit these socks for my dad. So these socks have been worn for several years. I don't know if you can tell. They are worn.
Sidebar, your dad loves knit socks.
My dad loves socks.
Yeah.
So I knit these for my dad, okay? And I did this little transition of stripes at the top. And when I posted about them, a lot of people were very interested in them. But I was like, okay, thanks. And I didn't do anything at the time. So I had my mom knit for me another pair in pink, pink and pink, and quite funny with the stripe transition. Now, so these ones, I think the reason why I never released the pattern for this is because by doing the toe, the heel, and the cuff with the stripes, I think I used more than what we had in our mini skeins at the time. So it wasn't a practical pattern for a sock set because you couldn't get the heel. You couldn't knit it with the sock set. So I was like, I'm going to have to re-knit it without the heel. We have since increased the yardage in our minis, so maybe I could have done the heels. I probably could have. But my mom knitted a pair for me and tested the pattern for me as she was doing it, and they're adorable. But what's quite funny is that she knit it, and as she was knitting it, she sent me a picture, and she's like, these socks are pink. And I'm like, yeah, they are, Mom. I know. It's pink and pink. I chose it. And then when she was done knitting them, she sent it. She gave me the socks to photograph and stuff, and she hands me the socks, and I look at them, and I was like, whoa, those socks are pink.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know, I told you. Anyways, it was quite funny. But they're really, they're sharp. So, those. Okay, we're ready.
We're getting a picture here.
Can you
ready to add layers to it?
Yeah. So then next, I cast on in January, I knit myself these little socks using one of our sock sets. That was my plan, was to use a sock set to knit a pair of socks. There's got a little detail on the toe, a little color work at the top. Used a sock set. There was still some of the yellow yarn to spare and the gray yarn, plenty of the gray yarn to spare. And I thought that these were really cute. And then I remembered that last year I knit myself these socks. These socks are a year old. They've also got a cuff color work.
I hope you guys are starting to form a picture of how many pairs of socks we have in this house. How many pairs of knit socks that are just in bins, drawers, around.
Never enough.
On surfaces.
But then, basically, I'm sure you can see where this is going, that, these are very complementary patterns. And I guess I also thought these were. No, do you know what I thought? I thought that if I combined these with a few other patterns, that it would be, I talked about this last week. I don't feel like it's a valid spending of your money to buy a pattern with stripes, stripe some yarn. I have free patterns already for the basic sock pattern, my trusty toe up sock pattern, or my Old Reliable top-down sock pattern are both free, and if you stripe some yarn, you can knit this without it being released as a separate pattern. But by adding the stripe sequence exactly to a few other patterns, then I felt it was a pattern of value that I could put together and sell as a sock set. And then, because I was getting excited about these, and also because I wanted them to be photographed together in some sort of cohesive palette, and this was feeling just a little bit rando, I knit another pair of the shorty socks. And see, is it coming together? The palette, the colors are working. I'm really crazy about this color palette, actually. This is Cloak, Orchid, the Acid Yellow, that doesn't really have a name that I remember, Pink Grapefruit, and Sand. And I'm really into this. I want a sweater in this.
We did a bunch of yellow testing in the pistachio range at some point last year. I think the closest equivalent now, that would be, you could do gold or chartreuse would pull off the same look. But maybe we'll work more on one.
No, definitely. Because I've used it in a bunch of patterns. And then I knit this one with the color work motif at the top.
So many socks.
Using multicolored, doing it a bit more multicolored. And I think it's so cute. I love this one. This one, the main color is Crystal, and it is magical. It's so pretty. And for this one, it's not all sock yarn. This is just 100% merino. It's our pure wash fingering. It doesn't have nylon. And typically I wouldn't use it for socks because it's not as durable.
You got some mohair in there?
I got some mohair! So I held mohair for the toes and heels. I don't know if you can see that it's fuzzy. A little bit fuzzy with the mohair. It makes them thicker and like cushier. So that's good for comfort, but also more durable. So I'm quite excited about that possibility. And I also think it's pretty cute, right?
Yes.
So look for that sock pattern. I'm hoping to have this whole sock set released this month. And what I'm doing this year, I'm really making an effort to plan my pattern releases to coincide with updates, shop updates, which is so obvious. It makes so much sense. But sometimes I feel like, we're just juggling so many balls and it's hard to always be that organized and to get everything. But this year is the year we're doing it. So when I launch this sock set, this little collection of sock patterns, I will have tons of sock sets in the shop.
That's a great
including, we'll have one with this color because I've now used it in a couple of things. And so I want people to be able to access it. And so it's just so fun. I mean, look at that.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Christmas stockings for a family of 15.
Yeah, we're ready. And it's the
Don't
same
know why
color.
I picked 15. There's usually an even number of socks.
So the yellow is the same color that I used in here as well. And you wait. I have a lot. So actually, I still have all this left of that. I've used this color in several things.
Yeah.
I got to think about what the other ones were. Other socks, just a ton of socks.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is indicative of how we work too. I'm going to have to go through scraps of paper and work backwards to
I think we did an
detect
update.
what
I think we
might
did
have
an update in the summer, sort of like June 2020,
Yeah.
where I was really feeling golds and yellows, and we dyed a whole bunch of them. And
Right.
this was from that update. I just wanted to show this too.
That actually helps.
When I'm doing color work stuff, this little bag was from a previous, my mom made this bag. My mom made a ton. My mom and her friend Andrea, I hired them to make project bags for a gift bundle one year.
Yeah.
I don't remember the year, 2019.
19.
And I put our enamel pins on it. It has a turquoise zipper. It has
Super
this
cute
really
liner.
pretty liner. And it has
It's a quality bag.
It is.
Yeah.
I really love it. So I fill it with all the little scraps of, see, this is all the yarn that I was using to knit those socks. Yeah, scraps, like the little scraps. I just love knitting with scraps. It just makes me so happy. And then the mohair. This is the mohair. I held green mohair with those. Just such a delight. What's next? Oh, I have one last thing. This is just what I'm currently working on. I'm knitting this sock for Chris.
Yes. I also love knit socks.
And it's in a self-striping sock yarn by Fab Funky Fibers. And it is one of the coolest stripe sequences that I've seen. There's so many colors. I don't know. The repeat goes from here to here. Like it's so long. There's so many colors in it. And what I love about it is how it's so unpredictable. Like there's not really any rhyme or reason. I feel as though
Makes sense as a whole though.
it looks so good overall, but that if I were dyeing if I just started a
I don't know if you could do it that random.
No. It would be in a gradient. I think all of my colors would be more, I think you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Rainbow.
Yep.
So to just be so unexpected, I just find it so much more modern and cool, and I love it.
A different sensibility, and it's that's why you can't do everything as a yarn dyer. Some people excel at other areas, so.
Well, also we have absolutely no idea how this happens.
Oh no, there's too much going on.
Magic.
From what I've heard, there's way too many systems involved. Anyone that does it is more mathematically inclined than myself.
And it's fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But, do you know what? That's a little, it just brings me to, I do want to say, I think I've said this a bunch other places, but I really feel like palettes for knitted projects in general really benefit from not being an obvious rainbow sometimes.
Right.
I mean, sometimes rainbow stuff is fun, of course. But if you take a rainbow, your spectrum, and you remove one color and add two of another color, you know, like you take out the blues altogether and then you have two reds in your rainbow. And it's just like a lot more interesting.
More impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your mind knows it's not a full
unexpected.
rainbow. Yeah. Anyways, that's just a little tip. Nobody asked for. Well, that's all of the knitting projects that I have to talk about today. Hopefully the next time I'm going to have the adult version of that little sweater that I'm currently working on to show. But I don't really have much to show of it today. Plus it's in a timeout.
That was pretty impressive. We're still early in the year. That's a lot of stuff to have.
I'm feeling it. I'm really excited about a lot of my projects right now.
Yeah. Tannis's non-knitting slumps usually are under 2 weeks in length. They might feel like a lifetime for you, but I'm always like, just wait. You'll be good in a few days.
Yeah. I definitely get days, like there's some days where I can't like have a minute's rest without knitting. Like sometimes I'm just kind of, I guess it's restless. Like I just need to I'm always moving. And then other days I'll just like, we'll sit there, read a book. Like that's crazy. No, but I just go through phases and I never worry about it.
Yeah.
I never worry about it because the knitting mojo always comes back. Doesn't matter how long it takes, and you can't force it. It's just like not fun.
You know what? Too, it's we've had like a long cold month. I'm sure a lot of people have, and it's
such a cold.
January's been freezing, like to the point where we haven't brought the kids out that often, and it's it's around the freezing mark today, and it feels like late spring to me.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'm wearing, like, this isn't a full winter sweater for me because it's kind of short, it's lighter, it's like airy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's spring.
You know what the difference is?
Like 0 degrees.
Yeah, you step outside and you're not immediately rigid and braced. It's just like, oh, this is livable, which is, I feel like that kicks your knitting instinct into high gear when you're just like kind of in hibernation mode
nothing
inside.
Else, not much else to do.
Yeah.
No, it's been so cold that, like, when we do go out, I mean, the kids go out at school every day. Yeah. Like, they're capable of going out. They've got great snowsuits and obviously hats, etc. But the other day, Chris brought them out on, like, an adventure, and the kids were wearing goggles because the wind was hurting their eyes.
We were out on the lake, though. That's different. Yeah. We were,
But no, it's intense. And I am a house cat. I can go days without literally leaving the house when it's so cold. It's just, like, painful to me. It's just not. I love winter, like from the inside with a warm cup.
No judgment. The older I get, the less.
You're good at going out, though. He's much better than me. But when I do go out, I'm always happy and I always survive. But I'm just as happy to get back in.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's all I have to talk about for my projects. But
can I pick a question or two for you?
Yeah,
then?
we said we have so many questions left over that we're gonna like.
Yeah, we'll probably have more for the next episode, too. Let me see. I know I had 2 here that I wanted. So this is a good one.
Gimme.
Which color or colors would you pair with your least favorite color to make it wearable?
Okay, so...
I'll give you my answer first. Very short.
Go.
Just knit in like black or a dark gray.
Only.
Yeah.
You know who you'd love? Hohi Locatelli.
She does. She does like.
She knits so much gray and black, and she did a post this week on Instagram, which is so funny. Which like she's got all these projects that she's working on, like these plans for projects, and so she like gathered all her yarn for her upcoming projects and put them out, and it was like 14 skeins of gray.
That's hilarious.
for all of her different projects. Yeah, and she's like,
I'm kidding a bit. I'm much better with color now.
Yeah.
I'm just coming from a place where I used to only like black.
Chris only owned black or white clothing.
Yeah.
You didn't own gray clothing.
No, that's right.
Black and then white t-shirts.
Yeah.
But you've really matured. Matured? You've really...
Become more childish?
Blossomed in your color liking. But I actually really admire... I feel like if I have a sweater in a color that I love, that I can't knit another sweater in that color because like I already have it.
Yeah.
But that's dumb.
Yes.
If there's a color that you love and you love to wear, knit every sweater in that color. I love it when people have like stacks of sweaters. They've knit like 4 sweaters and they're all in their palette. The palette that they love, that they feel the best in. If you love every color, which I kind of do also just love every color. So that's also a thing. But if you know what you like, just do what you like. And like, I don't feel like you need to feel pressure. People also often talk about breaking out of their comfort zone. It's like, you don't have to do that.
Not in terms of color. No.
Why? You don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
you could knit yourself. Okay, so what do I do if there's colors that I don't like? A, I don't knit with them. B, what I would do is use them as an accent color with a color that I do love, I guess. But one thing, I think that like a color that I don't like is like a weirder, kind of an odder phrasing. Because it's like if there's a color that I don't like, I'm probably not using it.
Yeah.
But if there's a color, a lot of people are hung up. I'm so bad at giving advice because I like don't believe in advice. I believe that you should do whatever you want to do. But a lot of people are hung up on wearing colors that are flattering to them. I also don't believe in that. Wear whatever color you want, and I don't think that's... I mean, my mom would argue with me because she knows her colors and like what works and what doesn't. Perhaps it's because I feel that I have a pretty neutral coloring, and I can wear yellow, I can wear red, I can wear blue, I can wear gray. I'm using those. I don't know if those are like polarizing colors.
Yeah.
I feel like yellow is. So my mom, it's peach and pink. She looks great in pink, and you will not catch her in peach. I think it also helps because I wear makeup. And so like if I look washed out, I just put like more makeup on. Whereas my mom doesn't really wear makeup, so it needs to work with her natural coloring. All that to say, if you feel that there's a color that you can't wear, you can wear it as an accent. You can also always wear it on like mittens or socks or something that isn't like up next to your complexion. But for example, like this color, this acid yellow color, which I love, I would wear an entire garment in it because bright colors are currently very, wearing a bright colored sweater is a fine thing to do. I feel like there was a time where I would have said that I wouldn't wear a whole acid yellow sweater because it was I was more into neutral sweaters.
You've changed a lot though over the as much as I have like gradually accepted color, you've accepted whole new ranges.
Yes.
As in yellows, golds.
Yellow. I used to be just blue.
Yeah.
Just blue gray.
Yeah.
Now I've really opened up.
Yeah.
Right? But just to say, look, you use it as a stripe, you use it as an accent detail, just like maybe on the hem, you use it within color work. Like, wow, this is a very easy example, but like there are a ton of colors in here that I don't love. There's what are the ton of colors?
Strong orange here.
Yeah, I'm not super into orange. There's some kind of like beigey colors that I don't necessarily love on their own. I'm saying a ton of colors. There's not a ton of colors I hate in here. But as a whole, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So you just have to like, oftentimes you put something together. Whenever we're putting together palettes, that happens to me all the time where I'm looking at a spectrum of colors and maybe individually they're not my favorite, but they work together as a whole.
I think that plays a big part in the evolution of your pairing of colors is that when you're you have so much in front of you and putting it together, it's not always the most obvious option that works the best or, something will work just as well. That was more unexpected.
And I was thinking, I think one of the reasons why I love this yellow, I love golds, and I love like chartreusey colors these days I'm really into. And I think part of it is because of my love of blue, because they really play off of cool colors so well, kind of like the warm and cold. And then also they just really pop. They add a lot of like, anyways, I think that sometimes going with colors that are, I'm not saying you don't need to knit yourself a sweater in a color you don't like, but if it's a color that you don't like, maybe it's because it's the opposite of a color that you really do like.
Oh, that's a good point. Well done.
So that's my answer.
All right.
Yeah?
And I think I had one more.
Tell me.
My phone's closed, but I think I remember what it was.
Okay.
It was, what would you be doing for work if you were not doing tennis fiber arts? Can you imagine that?
No.
Can you
I think
fathom
you need
a
to- I need
world
to
without
think
tennis fiber
No.
arts? So
I think you need to answer first. If you have it, you have a thought of what you would do?
I have a couple non-viable options that present a much...
Oh, they can be unrealistic?
Sure.
Okay,
Well, because
we'll go with that.
What work prospect do I have that is realistic other than this? Nothing. When Tannis and I met, I was cooking. Would I be cooking now? Would that work? Would I have had a heart attack and been hospitalized from it? Like, it's a tough line of work.
It's a tough line of work.
I don't know if I had the goods to be someone in charge of a team, like a whole kitchen. I don't know if I can delegate like that. So I probably would have imploded somewhere along the line. But cooking would have been one. I like to imagine that there's a part of me that could have made a living as like a small batch knife maker, which that's a hobby of mine that has been on the back burner for a while, but something I would have pursued. I just don't know with how slowly I learn new skills and my efficiency level, if I could keep up a production high enough to support a family.
Right. Somebody asked the other day, you mentioned knife making, and they want to know what kind of knives you make.
Kitchen knives, usually mono steel. Like I used a lot of O1 tool steel, something with a high carbon content, and an oil quenchable steel. I never got into making sand mine stuff, which is like, I mean, it's all on the agenda for when the kids are a little bit older and I have
Chris has an anvil.
Free time. I have an anvil that's just
Fun fact.
In the basement
We have an
now,
anvil.
but I want to set up a little smithy. I don't know if it's going to be here at the cottage. Depends who we want to annoy more in terms of our neighbors.
So the only reason I think that is realistic, I don't know how many knives you can make. It's one of those things.
And would I come to hate it if I had to survive on it?
I mean, have I come to hate knitting?
No, but that's the thing. That's a great point. Yeah.
I don't think that either of those are unrealistic. I think that Chris you could definitely get work cooking. But it's just it's tough. What would I do? I think I would be doing some other creative business if it wasn't knitting, like if it wasn't this. I used to work, Chris and I met working in restaurants. I really liked that. I just like...
Can I suggest some things that I think I could see you doing?
Yeah, you do that, because I have a lot of interest.
Even if we didn't dye yarn, I could see you still doing patterns.
Okay.
That's like, I feel like
so there you go. If we didn't dye yarn, I would continue to design patterns.
Yeah, but if that gets ruled out too...
So nothing knitting related whatsoever.
I could definitely see something with design, that you would be an interior designer, a decorator, maybe staging things for, a staging company or something like that, but definitely something involving home decor design. Okay. I could see for sure.
I just feel like that is so hard. That it's such like a saturated market and that it's so hard to work with clients. I love interior design and I would love to be an interior designer. Yeah. But I also feel like I'd walk in and I'd be like, I can see it. Like, you should do this. And then they'd go like,
I hate that.
And then I'd be like, well, we're stumped.
Yeah, exactly.
Now what?
Yeah.
There's nothing more. So I do think that if I did interior design, maybe it would be like only for projects that I owned. I don't know.
Hard to say. I think the real takeaway here is we're extremely grateful that we have Tannis Fiber Arts.
Yes.
Yeah, we've both, over the last decade, worked ourselves out of other viable options. I don't know what my CV would look like.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. I'm not hireable.
You have a lot of marketable skills.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Personal chef.
There you go.
Yeah.
As long as it comes with a dishwasher.
It's a requirement. If you can afford a personal chef, then you can hire a dishwasher.
Okay. Whatever. So that's your last question?
I think so, I think
that's it.
We keep it short and sweet since we seem to be doing these weekly at this point.
I mean, we're pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll be back soon with more exciting knitting color content. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Take care, guys. Thank you.